Check that out, boys and girls. That is a tanker. That is a solid fish. Let's get him on a scale. Yes, sir. 4.06. He was bouncing around quite a bit, but I'll take a 4-pounder every day of the week. I just dropped my GoPro in the lake. I lost my kayak footage where I was throwing a spy bait. I lost all the footage from today so far. I lost my GoPro. Well, you're going on my chest. Yo, good morning, boys and girls. This is going to serve as my intro. I've already been out here for about 3 hours, 2.5 hours, and caught 4 fish. 2 small largemouth, a smallmouth bass that went about 2 pounds, and then I just caught a 4-pounder. So I am stoked that I caught those fish. I've been throwing a swim jig around. I dropped my GoPro in the lake. I was trying to take a photo of that 4-pounder, and this clamp mount just exploded on me. And my GoPro fell into the lake and is gone. Just 7 foot of water, just gone, laying down there. So Jake the Almighty, if you want to come help me out, my man, 7 foot of water. It's right here. I have it marked on my graph. GoPro is with some pretty cool fish catching footage, but yeah, not gonna let that stop me from fishing. I'm catching fish, shallow wood, throwing a swim jig, one of my favorite ways to catch them in the springtime. So I'm gonna toss you on my chest with my Garmin. We're gonna make this thing happen. So the main pattern so far today has been throwing this little 3/8 ounce homemade swim jig in a black and blue, purple green flake color around shallow wood, and I have been catching some fish. And we're going to act as if this is the start of the video. So water temps are like 48 to 50 degrees, which is the perfect temps up here in Michigan for these fish to start moving shallow, start getting ready to pre-spawn. And this is actually that log that I just caught that 4-pounder off of, and I almost turned back. Like, I almost turned the boat around and pulled back out of this creek, because a lot of times early season, early pre-spawn, what these fish will do is they'll stage up in like the first third of the creek. This is what I would still consider very early pre-spawn, with those water temps in the low 50s, you know, upper 40s. These fish are just starting to move back up in here. They're not getting ready to spawn quite yet. So I almost didn't come back this far, but I sure am glad that I did, because I caught that 4-pounder. My heart's racing for a variety of reasons right now, so just kind of bear with me, but see if we can't catch some more big ones. I think what might happen is, as that sun comes up, this bite is just going to keep getting better. Like, every piece of wood in the lake might have a big fish on it. And I think the reason that 4-pounder's all the way back here is because he's going to be one of the first ones to go on bed. A lot of times those bigger fish are going to get on bed a lot earlier than the smaller ones. So more or less what I'm targeting is shallow wood. There's not a ton of grass in this lake, and it is a river-fed system. It's a reservoir. So there's a lot of laydowns, a lot of wood, some shallow docks. So that's what I'm looking for, is that shallow cover where these fish can pull up on. I think as that sun comes out, this bite's just going to keep getting better and better and better and better. So we're just going to stay at this throughout the day. So I'm fishing a dark colored swim jig, because a lot of places up here in Michigan, especially these natural reservoirs, are tannic colored. Now what tannic is basically like a tea colored body of water. And the reason that your lakes get that color is because of the tannins from the pine trees and the leaves that fall into the lake. So you get this tannic colored body of water from that. Gives it that off color, sort of like they have down there in Florida. Look at all those little turtles on a log, all lined up. There's one. It's another good one. Another nice smallie on the swim jig. Check that out. Nice fish. Thanks, buddy. See if we can catch another one right there. So finding some sort of irregularity is really important. Now, I know I've been fishing a lot of wood, but I think a lot of these smallmouth are going to come off these contour changes, right? So this little point that comes out, or you know, little high spots on the bank, little rocks that jet out a little bit further than the rest. I mean, these little irregularities is what's going to hold these fish this time of year. And as they push up shallower, I might be able to see them, but for the most part, like just fishing, just kind of covering water when they're up here shallow is the way to do it. Because when they're up on the bank, they're going to be harder to get grouped up. So quick midday update for you guys. We have caught a bunch of fish on a swim jig. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video accompanying this one talking about my swim jig setup, how I fish it, where I fish it, the colors that I throw, and the baits that I'm using to be successful with the swim jig. I think you guys will really enjoy that. I've gotten a couple requests for that. So go check out that swim jig video. It's going to break down everything that I'm doing, everything I'm using to be successful fishing a swim jig. And as you guys see, it catches both largemouth and smallmouth. So it's not just a largemouth bait, not just a smallmouth bait, just flat out catches big fish. So I'm going to put you back on my chest, run up the lake a little bit more, see if we can't catch another giant before we have to head out of here. Big one. Off that piece of wood again. It's like every bite, every largemouth bite is coming right off a piece of wood. There's another decent largemouth. Not a giant, but that's a nice fish. And I love the way they eat this swim jig. Everything that I've caught fish on today has just been something subtle coming off the bank, whether it's a laydown, whether it's, you know, a sand patch in the middle of all of these leaves, just something super subtle. And that's one of the big things, is using your eyes to find areas where these fish should be, especially when they're shallow and it's moderately clear. Like when you can see bottom, don't be afraid to trust your eyes and say, okay, that looks like there should be a fish on it. If it looks like there should be a fish on it and the conditions are right, fish it as if there's a fish on it. And I think that's one of the things that I've grown most over the past couple of years, is my ability to kind of fish my gut, right? So like if something looks good to me, if something feels right to me, I just go fish it. Oh, I almost didn't fish that. Look at that. Choking on that swim jig. Choking on it. And they absolutely love that thing. Another nice largemouth. Holy smokes. If this bite keeps heating up, this bite is going to be just so dumb this afternoon. It's funny how on these mixed lakes where you have both largemouth and smallmouth, how you can kind of tell what fish you're going to catch. Like, I know for the most part, being this far back into a cut, if I catch a fish, it's more than likely going to be a largemouth. And if I go out towards the main lake, it's more than likely going to be a smallmouth. But man, I love fishing shallow cover. It is such a fun way to fish, visual fishing. I can see pretty much every target that I'm fishing, and it's very precise casts to shallow cover, and the fish absolutely ruin the bait that you're fishing. It is so much fun. Well, boys and girls, that is going to end the day. The rest of the day kind of got a little bit tough. I got in my own head about a couple things, and one of the biggest things about bass fishing is maintaining a positive mental attitude and just kind of really going into it, you know, thinking the next cast could be a bite. And when you get in your own head, when you start thinking about things, you stop focusing on fishing. You start missing on opportunities. So as great of a day I had, losing the GoPro has been bugging me a little bit, and just some other things that are just getting on my mind. So we're going to end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Go check out that swim jig video. I'm going to break down everything I did in this video, from the jig I was throwing to how I was using it to catch these fish. yeah, and stay tuned. There should be a lot more videos coming at you guys very shortly. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section below. If you're not already, please do me a huge favor. Subscribe to the Smallmouth Experience. Subscribe to this community where we talk about smallmouth fishing and everything to help you guys go out and catch more smallmouth bass. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Take care, tight lines. God bless. Pursue your passion.